Hello students. In the second unit of digital communication in analog and digital communication subject, we are going to see about one question in QPSK modulator using the QPSK. This is one of the important questions. For a QPSK modulator with an input data rate FB equals to 10 megabits per second and a carrier frequency of 70 megahertz, determine the bandwidth and baud and also compare the results with BPSK modulator. So in the given question, they ask us to calculate the bandwidth and baud for QPSK and then compare the results with the BPSK modulator. So the given data are bit data rate, input data rate FB and the frequency, carrier frequency. The carrier frequency is denoted as FC. FC and FB are given. For a QPSK modulator, we are need to calculate the FA. So the general formula for calculating a bandwidth is upper cutoff frequency minus lower cutoff frequency. To calculate the upper cutoff and the lower cutoff frequency, we are taken the QPSK output equation. In this equation only, we are having FC plus FA and FC minus FA. FC plus FA is the upper cutoff frequency and FC minus FA is the lower cutoff frequency. FA is the highest frequency of the modulating signal, input message signal. So to calculate this FA, first we need to calculate the FA using the data rate, input data rate. Input data rate is FB divided by 4. So, and 10 divided by 4 is 2.5 megahertz. This is the FA. So, addition of FC plus FA is the higher cutoff frequency and FC minus FA is the lower cutoff frequency. From the upper and the lower cutoff frequency, we determine the bandwidth. Bandwidth is equal to upper cutoff frequency minus lower cutoff frequency. It can also be determined by another formula 2 into FA, 2 into 2.5 megahertz. From the baud rate of QPSK and then calculate the baud rate of QPSK. Baud rate is nothing but the number of signals changes or number of signals per second. So the QPSK is equal to N is equal to 2. Why we are taken as N is equal to 2 means in the input of the modulation, we are taken Q and I. So 2 inputs, 2 bits are taken as input. So we take N is equal to 2. So the formula for the baud rate is Fs is equal to Fb divided by N. So Fb we already know Fb is equal to 10 megahertz and N is equal to 2. From this we calculated 5 megahertz. So the baud rate for QPSK is 5 megahertz and the bandwidth of QPSK is also 5 megahertz. And then we go for our BPSK modulator. So the BPSK modulator also we need to calculate the bandwidth. For calculating the bandwidth, we need upper and the lower cutoff frequency. The upper and the lower cutoff frequency are taken from the BPSK output equation. In this output equation also represented as FC plus FA and FC minus FA. The addition of carrier frequency and the highest frequency of the modulating signal and the subtraction of higher carrier frequency minus highest frequency of the modulating signal. From this equation, we are taken the bandwidth as 10 megahertz. So the baud rate of BPSK is calculated by the same formula Fs is equal to Fb divided by N. Here the input bit taken is 1. So the bit rate and the baud rate are equal. So the baud rate Fs and the bit rate Fb are equal in BPSK. So 10 megahertz. So from this, from the bandwidth and the baud of QPSK and the bandwidth and the baud of BPSK, we came to know that the bandwidth and the baud rate of QPSK modulator is 1/2 that of the BPSK modulator. Okay. So this is the comparative results of QPSK and the BPSK modulator. Thank you, students.